Yeah.
Boom.
All right, I'm starting my stream. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Backstage Pass. You see, this week, actually, it hasn't even been a week, my guest tonight is actually an old friend of mine from the past, and we haven't had an actual conversation in, what, about a year?
About a year and a half.
Yeah, it's crazy. My guest tonight is Trainman2001. Train, how in the hell are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I mean, the weather down here is terrible. I mean, I'm been sweating up a storm while I've been retired after wrestling, but it's been great.
Yeah? Man, the last time me and you really have seen each other was, like, RWE, when we were working for Kelly. Honestly, man, it's really good to see you, because a lot of people for, like, a long time were saying that you were probably dead.
Oh, I mean, probably everyone thought I was dead at the time that I left.
That's crazy. Actually, I'm going to ask you a few questions. If it's kind of spontaneous.
Oh,
I didn't really plan on doing this podcast with you, but now that you're here, I might as well do it. Train, I got a few questions I got to ask you, and I want you to be as honest with me as you can. Okay, like 100% honest.
I'm gonna lie completely.
You're gonna lie?
I'm gonna lie the entire time.
I doubt that, Train. You're a very truthful person. Honestly, it's weird talking to you now because the old Train that I knew was kind of a little bit of a dick. Not gonna lie. But like now talking to this... What?
Yes, I was. I was the biggest dick in the world.
You were like a major asshole. And like now looking at this new Train Man, this like new and completely renewed person. It's like completely different to who you used to be. And like anybody that knew you, especially me, because we were really good friends back in the day, like looking at this new version of you, it's kind of weird. So like what's with all this, like what's with the change all of a sudden?
Well, once I got out of pro wrestling, I started just thinking of what I would do. I tried to get back into pro wrestling a bit, just like started talking with people, started getting on all that, and then over time, I just said, what did I do wrong in pro wrestling? And then I started thinking back to the days of PCW, WWE, and I was like, man, I always was trying to be a face, but I always acted outside of the ring. I always acted a heel. So I said, how about I change that? So I've been just started thinking, how about I change a bit? And ever since I first started changing all that, it's just stuck with me the entire time.
Well, what's interesting to me is we're going to go into your time with all these different companies, But first off, I got to ask you, how did you break into pro wrestling? Like, how did you find this?
Well, I do remember it was a couple of years ago. I think it was, I don't know, 2013, 2014, about there. I believe. I'm not sure. I'm trying to stay as honest as you said, but I don't know about the exact date. But when I joined pro wrestling, I got in contact. I just was searching around, and then I just started getting into wrestling at the time. I didn't know a single person. The only few wrestlers I knew at the time were The Shield, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, that whole group. So I was like, okay, I'll maybe on Roblox or something like that. So I started going in. I saw WWE 2K14. I was like, that looks kind of interesting. And then I found this one which I was supposed to be thinking was like all the other free modeled games, which I found was Tyler James, whatever his company, he was called Chris Cage at the time in the company. But I found him and I joined PCW. And then when I saw that, he said, okay, who do you want to be? We need people. Who do you want to be? And he was called Cage, and I was like, what if I were under his guidance? So I thought of, what is a good character name? And the first name that popped in my head was Jackson. And I said, Jackson Cage. That could work. And just from there, I just started going into wrestling.
So, interesting enough to me is just like, a lot of people I've talked to, they've gotten to this because of some, like, especially back in the day. You know, it wasn't just something that just, you know, you ran, like, you would run just into this and get interested in this and be a part of it. I know when I first got into this thing, the only thing I was ever interested in was trying to make it and be a successful wrestler. But as I've gotten older, I've realized I was really stupid for trying those things. So I was. And me and you, we've had this conversation.
Be honest with you, even to this day, even till now, I look back and I said, man, I understand why people really thought I was a fool back then, because I was, man, I'm sword fighting with a thing that looks like a piece of toilet paper, and I'm just going, yeah, I got this. I'm spinning around like a ballerina.
You know, though, and you know, that's interesting to me. It's just watching us, like, evolve, because we've known each other for quite a long time.
Yes.
And, you know, I got to bring up the fact that we worked for RWE, even though I don't think we both enjoyed our time there.
You want me to speak about how I felt with RWE, or do you want to talk about that later in the podcast?
Nah, you know, I want your honest opinion on RWE and your honest feelings about it.
Okay.
Because
so when I first joined RWE, I saw who the manager was, and it was XoKellyKellyxO, which right off the bat, my mind just went, I seriously want to join a company like hers. I mean, I believe at the time when I joined, I think it was like, what was it, 2017, 2016, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
PCW fell, WWD, that was a lost cause. XCW was around. Tyler went on from PCW, that fed to, I think it was RCW or NCW, something like that. RCC left just about a year or two ago. I was like, man, where do I go? And I just found RWE out of the blue, and I was like, sure. And I found it out of the, just randomly, because I was just looking around, trying to find something I could do before it's like, I mean, really, if I wanted to, there were more options at the time with RWE. But I just said, I'm going to RWE. It looks cool. And then I joined, and I'm like, I mean, it's got working Titantrons. That's a good thing. It's got some matches. I mean, yeah, sure, it'll work.
It wasn't bad. The weird thing is when I got there, you know, it was already going on its decline. But, you know,
yeah.
I got there because Keiko, obviously you know him as Mr. Keiko or Rashawn Porter or whatever you want to call him. He's the reason why I came. You know who Mr. Keiko is?
Yes, I know who he is, but I've never called him Sean Porter.
Oh, his ring name was Rashawn Porter.
Oh, I thought he meant that was actually his real name.
No. I don't. I'm not going to bring up his real name on podcast because, you know, I don't think he'd like that.
Yeah, let's just get all the people calling him that now.
No, but as you know, Rashawn's retired now, and he's perfectly content with being retired. And what interests me is the fact that even when I got there and it was going down like a steady decline, you know, no matter what you did in that company, RWE, there was, you know, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I always thought Kelly was a slut.
Yes.
It's just, okay, you know.
Here's the one thing, and this was, and I'm not going to try and derail this whole podcast by jumping boat to boat, but when I got into, I cannot remember what company it was, but there was this, I won't say it was kind of a TNA kind of size company, or quote unquote national size company. It had like about 100 something people, and it kind of reminded me of I call WG.
You keep cutting. By the way, train. You keep cutting in and out.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome back. It's Terminator.
No, I gotta ask you something, and I'm just gonna shoot blank with you.
I'll try not to cut out.
this is me being 100% honest with you. I think you know the answer to this, and I'm not going to bullshit you, and I'm not going to go around the bush here with you. I'm going to ask you point blank, and I want you to tell me the truth. Okay?
All right, let's hear it.
2 things. Number 1, what is your honest opinion on Kelly Kelly? Not the wrestler from TV. I'm talking about the real wrestler.
Yeah, I was going to go with her. I wasn't going to... If you want me to talk about Kelly Kelly from... Yeah, sure. But the real wrestler Kelly Kelly, to me, in my honest opinion, and I really did. I saw how she was in the ring, and it's like, when I got in the argument, she said she's the queen of the ring. Yeah, when you know who she is, she puts herself in the same...
Train, your mic is bad. Train, your mic is awful, dude.
Oh, sure, honey.
I don't know what's going on with your shit.
See if it is good now.
Yeah, I'm also hearing the Terminator inside.
Yeah, we gotta try and we gotta try and fix this, Train. Is there any way you can use something different?
You hear it now?
Yes, we can.
He's beating his microphone.
No, he's beating more than his mic.
Alright, Train. We'll try it again, alright? Honestly, I'm going to ask you a few things about Kelly, and I want you to tell me if you think it's true or not. Do you believe Kelly Kelly... Because obviously, as you know, and I don't think everybody else out there knows this, and I'm going to go out there and say it, there is a sex tape right now going out around... it's on Pornhub. It's either on Pornhub or some other channel of fucking Phoenixer, a.k.a. Kelly Kelly, and it's her sex tapes with Dylan Brown.
Isn't that it was actually the Roblox characters?
It was the Roblox
I know
characters.
what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
It was Kelly Kelly and Dylan Brown. Now, Dylan Brown, to this day, he'll deny these accusations. And, a lot of people believe Dylan Brown. A lot of people don't. But, everybody knows Kelly Kelly nowadays. And Kelly Kelly is... I'm going to say it, point blank. Kelly Kelly is the definition of... You know how, like, in WWE, you had Batista and Melina were a couple behind John Morrison's back? That is basically what Kelly Kelly is. She is the definition of a ring rat.
Yes, that is exactly what she is.
It's just what it is. It is just what it is. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to just, sugarcoat anything I'm
not going to pull a little BS with you, Chris. In my honest opinion, that is exactly what she was.
She was a ring rat.
She was a ring rat. I mean, of course she would want to get with a stupid idiot like me. But, all she did was try and I'm not going to swear. I won't. I promise. All she did was feed chance that she could.
Yeah.
She reminded me of a terrible Playboy girl. That's all she reminded me.
A terrible Playboy girl.
That's all she reminded me.
That's what the thing is, and it still blows my mind to this day. Because I'm going to be as honest as I can with you. In my honest opinion, Dylan Brown and Phoenixer, I don't know what the truth is with that. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about it. But you got the whole thing now. And if you look back on it, Kelly Kelly, in my honest opinion, she was, the definition of what you would call a slut. And I'm not saying that to disparage it, because I haven't talked to her since then. And, I've changed my ways. I found God and all this stuff. But, now, the only thing that bothers me nowadays is the fact that you got, you look back at everything that's happened. Kelly Kelly, in every company she ever went to, in order to win the women's title, EHW, for example, she literally had to fucking almost sleep virtually or pixely or whatever the hell you want to call it with EHW Productions. Okay? EHW Productions, he denied accusations for a long time, but even his friend there, Kyle or whatever the hell his name was, Kyle was saying point blank that they were on Skype almost every night. So, what do you believe there? I believe his best friend, because no one knows him better than his best friend.
I believe his best friend in that, and I've heard, and I don't know if these are true or not, but throughout the multiple different people that I was friends with on Roblox, on Skype, in companies, whatever, and all that, it's like every time someone spoke of Kelly Kelly, they usually said that they knew either a friend of theirs has either virtually slept with them or she's tried to. And it's like, whenever I hear that, it's like, over time, I just got tired of listening to it because I knew exactly what Kelly Kelly was. It's like I can understand her in like online dater. That is not even a word to describe her. It is way past online dating.
And the thing is, and this is even nowadays, is I can tell you point blank, the old conversations I used to have with Kelly, is Kelly would try to get with whoever she could get with. She one time she tried to get with PG. I found out she got with Ruthless Gang, and Ruthless is a good guy. Don't get me wrong.
Ruthless Gang is a great guy, so yeah. I don't worry about me saying crap about him. He's great. Don't worry about it.
It is what it is. Okay, I have no, she's as cool as she wants to be. Only issues I ever had with her was when, I don't know how she is now, but I know how she was then, and I know how when we were working for RWE, how terrible it was for us. Okay, I don't want to go back. Like, it's a hard time for me to go back and remember because I hated wrestling at that time. I hated it. And it just bothers me to go back and look at like how wrestling was for me then and like see how we are now. But like, I hope she's changed her ways. I hope she's done, good things, all that cool stuff. But, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to real wrestling, it shouldn't be about sleeping your way to the top or trying to sleep your way to the top. You should earn your way to the top.
Yes. Here's what I thought of it when I started, and if anyone hears this, and I know on your podcast, people listen to your podcast like crazy, but if you want to try and get successful in wrestling, you do what you got to do. You don't sleep with people. You earn it just like they do in real life. You earn your way up the ladder.
You do. You have to earn your way.
I always tried that, and if anyone who knows me, I took more losses than Kurt Hawkins, which I'm probably 0-600.
And I remember when she said this. I remember, I'll never forget it. We were at that RWE board meeting. Okay, and yes. Remember because I was GM at the time. Kelly was running the company. You were like head of creative or something like that. And like when we were, you were board of directors. Yeah, board of directors. So, like, we had that little meeting and all that shit. And all of a sudden, we go into this we go into this meeting. And Kelly brings up at the end of this goddamn conversation that, I think I'm the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
yes,
why do you think this? And she says, because everywhere I've gone, I've been world champion, or I've been, the #1 women's wrestler. And I'm sitting there, and I'm fucking dying because the only way she ever won the women's title was in her own company because there's no other company that could make her a champion. Joke. They couldn't market her.
Here's the thing, and I've been in 4 companies that she has worked in, and I was there for less than 2 weeks in each of those companies, and just within those 2 weeks, they had 2 shows.
Yeah.
I remember one of them had one show that ran I just reminded me of Floor Championship Wrestling, which I believe Floor Championship Wrestling was one that she was in, and I joined that, which that was probably the stupidest idea I ever did. But the others were just like 2 shows per week. It reminded me, it was like a Raw and SmackDown kind of deal, brand split BS. But whenever I joined, she would always be the champion. And it's like, I remember she had a title shot. And it's like, at the beginning of the show, we're going to have a match, Kelly and, I don't know, girlfriend down the lane. Is all I can think of right now.
The thing is, and look at it like this, is there was never a time where Kelly was the champion and had a actual contender that could compete with her because whoever the owner was most likely with her And
Yes.
the owner would make sure that at any time there was nobody there to be her contender. Sometimes she would go pay-per-views without fighting for her title, and it always got me laughing. And then the owners would always say, "Oh, I don't have any contenders." And even in her own company, when she was the fucking Divas or Women's whatever the hell it was, Divas or Women's Champion, there was plenty of women that could have been a better Women's Champion than her. But if you go back, even when I was GM and I couldn't say anything at the time, I'd go through the fucking logs. I would go through the logs of the match, and she would put in the CMD bar to give herself health 200 while the other person only had 100.
Yes. Okay. I'm not going to try and ruin this, but in multiple cases about that, and just saying and I'll be honest here, I remember I caught one of those on RWE, and that was just before I got fired as BOD. But it was
ironically, because remember right before that you brought that up to her, and all of a sudden, like not even a week later, your job was gone.
It was when I did a promo, and what she told me, it was when she asked me to do a promo against her. And I remember it was probably one of the most funniest. It was probably the stupidest promos I ever did, but hey, it worked. But it's like she told me just go all out, go against me, and it's like I did. And you know what's funny? I brought up the health thing, and I had the reports 250 health was hers, while the other wrestler was like 175.
Yeah, I gotta ask you this.
She did that, and I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to face in a match. She told me what match. It was going to be a rematch in the next week. Guess what? Match never happened. All of a
sudden you were because all of a sudden you were no longer the board of directors. Like, you didn't have any authority. That what made me laugh, because as soon as because remember
meeting, she brought us into the meeting, and it's like, I remember she just said, okay, you know what we're going to do? And she's like, I don't believe you're doing the best that you can do in a board of directors job. And I'm like, and I'll be honest here, I still have the chair that I used to sit in and all that when we used to play and all that. But when I remember in that meeting, I was sitting there and I'm like, are you shitting me?
Do you remember the conversation we had after individually?
Oh my fucking God, yeah.
Because I told you point blank, as soon as you brought that up to her, as soon as you brought up the fact that you knew about the 250 against 100 health, as soon as you told her about that, you were gone. Like, because remember the promo you made on here, you said that the match was going to be 100 versus 100 and you weren't going to cheat this time?
Yes. I said it was going to be a fair contest. And it was going to be a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And it was going to be, I don't even remember who we weren't even, at the time, the we didn't even have referees.
No. Who was that guy? We had somebody, he was like that indie dude. He now works for the Independents.
Yes, it's
like Nyat Young or whatever the hell his name was. He did he reffed a few matches for us, and then there was that other referee that reffed, and they all ended up leaving because they couldn't stand Kelly.
Yes, I know. It was the former general manager. It was the formal board of directors general manager, remember?
I know who you're talking about. I just can't get the name out of the top of my head.
Shit.
Oh, Death Eater.
Yes, it was him.
Let's shoot on Death for a second, because in case nobody knows about Death Eater is this like 20-something-year-old guy who's hitting on this 13-year-old. All right? He's hitting on a 13-year-old. Not only is he hitting on a 13-year-old, he's hitting on his fucking cousin. Like, how gross can you be? Like, he is sick in the head.
Do we know what state he's in?
I wish I knew what state he was in. God,
like, he's in Alabama.
He probably. It's like a freaking rite of passage, I guess.
It's legal if it's in Alabama.
It's like it's legal if you're in Alabama. But the Death Eater, though.
Hey, you want to hear a joke?
Yeah, sure.
What's in Alabama? What's the best dating website?
I don't know.
Ancestry.com.
No. Okay, so you remember Death, right? Death made that joke about our friend dying, who died in a car crash. And he showed up to one not XCW, but he showed up to one RWE show, and we were pissed. There was Eli King was there, The Elliot King.
Yes, I remember Elliot King.
Elliot went off. He was pissed. Like, Death Eater, he started
the chat was gone.
Yeah, and what bothered me...
gone, folks. It was non-existent.
Yeah, everybody turned their attention from wrestling to going right after Death, because Death was...
What happened was, we were just about to get into a women's match. I don't remember...
It was Brooke. Brooke was going to go up against Tessmacher.
And we shut down that whole match. I'm sitting at the commentary table, getting ready to commentate this. I think it was with Keiku? Who was it?
Yeah, Keiku. Keiku was doing commentary because that match was his girlfriend was in the match.
Sitting there in the call, whoa, that was great. Just a voice crack in the middle of that. But in the Skype call, we were sitting there in the Skype call. Here he comes out of left field, just starts ranting about the car crash, and oh my God, Eli Drake just lit him up like a Christmas tree. The chat was gone. We just Elliot though. I remember Elliot saying after that he wished he knew where he lived because he would beat his head in. Because Elliot was closer to him, the guy, than I was when he passed. I'll actually tell you this now, and this actually happened around here, and this is one of the reasons why I left for wrestling.
Sure.
This is what happened right here. This 12-year-old kid, which I know him now, found this. It was a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. These two were at a big feud in a company, and they're around my area, and like, oh my Lord, this 14-year-old kid got so freaking pissed in the feud because he got screwed over. He got screwed over so hard. Finds this 12-year-old kid, and literally, and this is in real life, beat the living out of him. Just beat him up.
I gotta tell you this, Train, and it just dawned on me. Because I remember somebody telling me Death Eater's back in RWE, and I guarantee you the reason he's back is he's either A, sleeping with Kelly, or he's like doing some more bullshit with his imaginary streak. You know about the streak, right?
What, the 300-0?
It's something like that. He's undefeated at Manias because there's nobody that can beat him. But his best friend, Mr. Keiku, sat there and told me, like, a long time ago that, like, all of his matches are scripted.
Here's what's funny about this, and even in script wrestling, if you want to talk about script wrestling, I know script wrestling because I dealt with a whole WWE company with Chris, not you, Chris, but Chris Cage, Tyler James McMahon, Tyler J for the win, whatever.
Yeah.
The former RCW. He asked me to join his WWE thing, and we just did scripted everything. Mm-hmm. So I know script wrestling like the back of my hand. That stuff. And people say script wrestling ain't fun, but you don't know what you're talking about with script wrestling. That stuff is funny as hell.
And everybody always says this, and I love hearing these comments. Everybody always says RWE's dead, right? The Roblox Wrestling Entertainment. Everybody says it's dead, but like no one understands that RWE, like literally their fan base is only like 6 or 7 people that go to it religiously. Like the reason why RWE doesn't bring in as many fans is because Kelly honestly does not know how to run a company, and she thought by bringing back in Death Eater, who was like literally the definition of cancer. They thought bringing him back in.
When Death Eater left, and Death Eater left, and he got. I don't remember what happened. Why he left? What was the whole reason why he left?
Death? No, Death left because all of us fucking tore into him for his comments about our friend. He literally left that because he said he wasn't going to come back until Elliot was gone, I was gone, you were gone, and somebody else was gone. He said he wasn't going to come back.
That was at Mania.
No, it wasn't that Mania. It was 2 pay-per-views before Mania. It was like our Rumble pay-per-view. Remember? Because remember how
that summer thing.
Because remember how all
the whole arena was like a beach. It was just a whole.
It was a beach, but we had the Rumble at the beach. It was like okay, because you remember because like the storyline was at the Rumble, Keiku was going to win the Royal Rumble and get his much-needed return match for the world title at Mania, and then all of a sudden, Keiku gets like 28 or whatever, which was fine. And by the way, there wasn't 28 people in the server, so just so everybody knows this, there was like, 12 people in the server? And all of a sudden, guess who draws?
People re-going.
Yeah, guess who draws the last number? And as she told us, it was completely randomly generated. All of a sudden, coming out last was Kelly. And who do you think won the Rumble? Kelly. Of course, Kelly won because
here's the thing about those.
You gotta make Kelly look strong.
If people want to complain about this, no, we did not. When we do the randomized number things, and we know how to do randomized things, and I finally learned, when you do the randomized number things, we don't just randomly say, here's your number. We don't hand pick them.
No, we have a random. We had that random generator. The random number generator with the names and shit in it, and they would completely give them a whole different set of numbers. Like I remember very vividly because we had what was his name? That the guy that always wore the blue tights. He drew number 1, and he was pissed, and he thought it was rigged, right?
Yes, so many people thought that was rigged. There was like 4 people in there that said it was rigged.
Yeah,
and then
4 people thought it was rigged. And of course they thought it was rigged because Kelly drew the last number. I remember very vividly, Kelly got like 5. And all of a sudden, Kelly's like, oh, I'm not participating in the Rumble. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the Rumble, Kelly's theme hits.
Kelly was number 5. She didn't want to draw. No one entered at number 5. Here comes 6, 7, 8, whatever. I come in. Keiko was supposed to be 28. He was 28. I'm at like 9 or whatever. I don't remember. I was supposed to be getting out real quick. I got out. I looked like the hurricane and
I remember because I couldn't participate because I had that thing on my hand. I had the cast on my hand. I remember now because I couldn't participate in the Rumble.
That was amazing, though.
The Rumble itself.
I was like, man, that's amazing. I cannot.
No, it pissed me off because like literally 2 days before the Rumble, like I ended up breaking my hand or whatever, and I couldn't participate in the Rumble, and I was out for like a month. I couldn't do anything for a month with my right hand.
Just saying, folks, real life does matter when it comes to pro wrestling because incidents like that can stop you from pro wrestling.
Yeah. Oh,
just ask this guy.
We gotta jump. We
screwed.
Okay, I gotta ask you 2 things real quick. Number 1, have you ever seen that tape with Kelly and Dylan?
No.
Because in the video, the sex tape. Because in the video, Kelly bit his wiener.
Okay, there's 2.
Kelly bit his wiener. No,
right as you said that, I was trying to like not imagine that. Right as you were saying that, I was like, "Hold on, he bit his wiener." Oh, come on, I know what I mean.
And I like Dylan Brown. I've always liked Dylan Brown. Okay, Dylan Brown is one of the nicest people you ever meet. But you know, if it was Dylan Brown, then you know what the hell. But if it wasn't Dylan Brown, then it wasn't Dylan Brown. Okay, like I don't think, honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if it was true or not. But there's video evidence there that says it was Dylan. Like, and he says his account was hacked at that time. But it could have been. I'm not gonna say it wasn't because I remember very vividly Dylan used to share accounts.
When he said that, there was, and this is just as to my knowledge, there was a whole crap ton of people's Rolex accounts getting hacked.
Oh, remember that bull? Oh, this just came to my head. Remember at Mania, we were scripting, like, not scripting, but we were making the card for Mania, and, like, we were supposed to have 12 matches on the card, and Kelly participated in 3 different matches. The world title match, which also had Kate.
The call, and it was like, okay, this is the match that, can you put this in the match? And we're like,
and
remember, put a match here.
Remember all those people that came to RWE Mania because they wanted a match at Mania, and Kelly was like, "Well, you're not active wrestlers on our card, so you can't participate on our show." But like, there's 3 different spots that Kelly was in. She was in the women's title match, the Divas title match, and the fucking World Heavyweight title match. Like, all of a sudden, you know, Kelly's pulling a 3-peat in one night. She's Seth Rollins, for Christ's sakes. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. She's not no Seth Rollins. She's like the... Okay.
Here's the thing, guys. In RWE, we did have titles for women and men. We weren't like the intergender titles of 2002 WWE.
Yeah.
The World Heavyweight Championship is a men's...
It was a men's title, and Kelly made it so she could get the title. Because Kelly wanted to, you know, because outside of our...
Who won the World Heavyweight Championship?
Well, at that night, Keiku finally won the title at the end of the night. Because Keiku was told, like, Keiku said if he didn't win the title, he was walking out.
That was
Kelly's number one guy there. KQ doesn't like Kelly. Like, you know, he never liked Kelly as in like.
Would you blame him?
Dating. No, I don't blame him. Somebody told me, I don't remember who it was, but somebody told me that Kelly sent a naked picture of herself to somebody in the pro wrestling community, and the person, like, he passed it around for a little while, and apparently she has an afro downstairs.
An afro.
Like, no joke. She doesn't trim, apparently. I guess apparently, as the joke went around, somebody has to come in there with a weed whacker and trim the bushes. You know?
Hey, I guess you could say. I guess you could say the guys down there were playing Jumanji.
I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I wouldn't doubt that shit.
Hey, you never know. There could be a bunch of monkeys down there.
And I remember, like, for the longest time, everybody said for, like, the longest time that Kelly, like, was a man but was using the voice changer.
Yes.
That went on for, like, almost 2 years.
I was just like, you know what? I wouldn't deny it. I really wouldn't deny it at the time. There was so much BS.
There was so much evidence that she never wanted to. There was so much advertising. Like, there was so much, like, of Kelly's crap that she never, like, opened up and said anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And at the time, I literally believed the rumors that Kelly was a guy. Like, I thought her name was, like, going to be some, like, I remember at some time, somebody saying, like, I'm, like, 99% sure that she's a guy and her name's Caden, was the rumor going around. Her name was Caden, was what the rumor was. And I was like, I believed it, because, you know, Kelly never came on the microphone. She never really said anything until after we got in RWE. And even then, I mean, you know, her audio wasn't always the best, so you really couldn't tell if it was a voice changer or not.
I'll be dead honest here. When I got into the Skype calls, I actually thought, what's her name? Brooke,
yeah,
Brooke, that's her name. Sorry, I have someone outside of this that has the name just like that, but it's Brooke.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I always thought she was actually Kelly speaking, but then it's like when I get in the Skype call, I'm like, oh my lord, I
thought the same thing at times, because, like, I love Brooke. Brooke is amazing, and, you know, me and Brooke, we don't talk nowadays, but, you know, Brooke had well, do you blame her for the comments you made? Do you remember the comments you made about her back then?
Oh, fuck yes. Hey, blame Kelly on that one. You can blame Kelly on that one.
Well, you were frustrated. You were very frustrated at that time. But, like, Brooke's an amazing person, and she has always been amazing to me. But, like, yeah, you know, at the time, yeah, I thought the same thing, because, like, I had the old Skype on my cell phone, and I couldn't tell who was talking in the call. So I thought, you know, after the time, actually, Brooke was starting to talk, and I figured out Brooke and Kelly weren't the same person. And, you know, once they both finally started talking, I kind of got hints on, like, okay, all right, they're two different people. But, you know, at the beginning, I really wasn't able to tell who was who, which I feel bad now saying that, but I'm not going to lie about it. You know, Keiku, like, me and Keiku, we talked about this before I left XCW. Not XCW, but before I left RWE. I remember I sent the photo. Remember this photo? I sent this photo in the Skype call of RWE's ratings. It was a chart that was like the arrow was shooting down, right? And I said RWE's ratings. And I sent it for like almost a week straight. And at the end of that week, Kelly broke down in the call, and she was pissed. She was yelling at me and all this stuff. She says, you know, I don't need you in this company. You could just, you know, you can quit. I said, that's fine with me. You know, there's other options for me.
Okay, the downward arrow thing, yes, I remember that, and I laughed so hard at that. That really made me laugh like crazy. And then it's like, next thing I know, same case with you, you're out of the business. You literally left the group entirely. You sent me a message for the World Wrestling Creations group, and I'm like, hey, okay.
Yeah, I you know, as soon as I got out of there, it's not like I didn't want to keep in touch with some of you guys.
Okay, this is the thing, and I'll be honest, and you did not know about this until now. I'll tell you this now. When you were in the group, I was at I almost said wrestling industry. When I was at RWE, one time, it was one of the last few times I joined RWE, as in the whole group before I just said, screw it.
Okay.
And I was still in the group at the time, but I left and rejoined just because she wanted me back. I joined. I never got in matches, but she said she wanted me to get out of the group, out of the Road Wrestling Texas group. I said, and I told her in the chat, no. And I told her, no, I'm in this group for a reason. There's no way, just because if you want me in a RWE and then you want me to take me out of another group. Now, I'd understand, now, in this cases, I've been in military groups, and we don't, if you're an enemy in a group, that's different. But when you're in two groups that are in the same ballpark, and then just, like, you want to cut ties just because, and we're not even allied at the time, she just wanted me to just jump over her ship, and I don't know what. Oh my God!
I just remembered something about RWE. Remember when she tried to get us to sign those contracts to be exclusive to RWE? Oh, and she even said she was going to pay us. Whatever happened to those payments?
Okay, and I remember that she wanted us to. She was going to pay us. I remember she said 100 Robux.
Yeah, 100 Robux a month was what we were going to get paid. The first month went by, and who got paid?
Her.
She's the only one out of anybody that kept the money. Keiku didn't get it, and he was the world champion. If anybody deserved it, it should have been Keiku. We didn't get shit.
Here's the funny thing: the only way you could give Robux in Roblox at the time, and this has been the way it's been for so long, and Roblox has not inputted this crap. The only way you can give Robux is T-shirts and clothes and items.
Yeah.
You cannot pay someone. I mean, if she wanted to give us, like, if she wanted to buy, what do you call them? The little cards you buy at Walmart, GameStop, or at any store. Selling out here, sell out Seth Rollins. But if she was going to give us the code to that, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
With those, that would be a great idea. Don't take my advice, people. Paying people is not what you do. But if she would have did that, that would have been fine. But she wanted us to sign a contract. She literally made a contract. And she wanted us to
sign it.
Sign it. Now, I don't know how the hell we would have signed a document on
a virtual paper that was sent to us through Roblox and all that stuff, and all we had to do was copy and paste the message and write in the line. Like, I wasn't gonna sign. I'm like, I remember in the call, I told her, I'm not signing this contract so I can be your slave. Like, there's no way in hell.
And I'll be honest here, I have not deleted that. I still have it.
You still have the contract? My God.
Is there any way you can send it through the Discord? So I can put it on the video? Hello?
He'll have to go through his messages. You also have to remember he doesn't have a PC. So he has to go through his tablet and find it. So that might be a bit of an issue.
Well, you can send it to me later.
Do you still have it?
Find the contract?
Yeah, find the contract. Find the contract that she sent you.
Sure, I'll see if I can still...
Alright, so let me ask you something, Train. Alright, since we're on this subject right now, since we're on the Kelly subject, and we've been on it for quite a while now, let me ask you a question.
This is the Kelly show now.
It basically has turned into it. Let me ask you a question. When we went through the... when we were with RWE, outside of RWE, who, like... in any company, besides the companies that she slept with the owner, where was she and, like, what titles did she win? Think about it. Or she wasn't kissing somebody's ass.
As in, like, say that again, like, as in the,
okay, outside of RWE, besides the owners that she was either with, or were, like, you know, virtually, I guess, sleeping with, or, like, the companies that she kissed the owner's ass, where did she go and become a success? Any of them. Exactly.
And your mic cut out for me as I'm trying to also find the thingy-mabob.
When she left RWE, like, outside of RWE, she went to all these different companies, and of course she won titles, but the companies that she won the titles in, she was sleeping with the owner, or she was kissing the owner's ass. Or probably, knowing how she was back then, she was probably sending nudes to everybody she knew to try and get her foot in the door. Point blank.
Right.
I'm not gonna show. There's no reason to sugarcoat it because that's exactly what she did. And she will be the first one to deny it. But there are so many people over Pro Wrestling that will tell you that she's a liar.
Okay, so this is... I'll send it to you this. I don't have the exact contract, but this is one of them she actually wanted me to send to someone. She wanted me to send it in. The person that she wanted me to send it to was, as at the time, she was called Rebel Brooks, which is Brooks, which we know her by. This is exactly, and I'll send it right now. That was the one message. That is exactly how she wanted me to send it.
I remember, because you sent me the same thing, because I was going to sign the contract for you. Oh, yeah.
The only difference with this, and at the time, I don't know why the hell, the reason why she wanted, the only thing different at this is I've changed the name over time.
Wasn't that WWI, wasn't that the company that she came up with after RWE's failed attempt at doing the, because they went head-to-head with another show. Wasn't that like the company that, because she lost her rights to the show? Because wasn't it like that 5 versus 5?
Versus, I don't even know. It was.
Wasn't it like some company like DXW, something like that?
Yes, it was XCW. I don't think it's. It might have been XCW. I don't know. It might have been XCW or it was some other show, but the owner was not there, and they were pissed to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Which Kelly lost 100%. She even tried to.
They did the fucking 5 versus 5, and of course DXW. They had really, you wouldn't hear their names now because like they were mainly independent guys, and now I think a majority of them are doing RP wrestling, but like. Back then, they were really fucking good, but then you look at the guys that were on fucking... There's only 2 people on that team.
These people in XCW at the time, they're not like how you... Like, people that... Of course, everyone knows that when you're wrestling, when you're doing the clean wrestling, you spin around and you do the balance up. These people, when you're in XCW, they tell you not to do that.
Yeah.
They don't tell you to do that. They literally just like you keep strafing is what it's called, strafing. And they strafe so much that they got their ass whooping.
Yeah.
And it was 5-0 when the match ended. 5-0.
Yeah, RWE lost every person on their team. The only person on that team that had any reason to be on that team was Keiku, because he was the world champion. And he had a reason to fight. But, like, you put Kelly on that team, and Kelly lost because she had no way to control the health.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? She wanted me on the team. I said no.
Yeah.
Why didn't I want to be on the team?
And remember,
I know that I'm terrible at it.
She tried her damnedest. She tried her damnedest to get me to come out of retirement at that time. Because I was already retired. I was perfectly happy being retired. And I didn't want to come out of retirement to wrestle for her. You know, because I just finished up my thing with not VCW, but VRW. And I was happy with being out of wrestling. And I came there as a favor for Keiku. And she tried. She's like, I'll give you 1,000 Robux. I'm like, no. That ain't happening. She says I can do you favors. I'm like, no, I don't want no favors from you because I've heard about your favors. Miss Mary Jane Rotten Crotch.
Me of the Stephanie McMahon of that's basically what she is, the Stephanie McMahon of pro wrestling.
Yeah, she is, but she's a much more sluttier version.
Yeah. Oh,
what she is.
I think I know. I think I found. No, that's not it.
It's crazy. God, Train, I gotta give you so much credit. Me and you, we've been there and we have seen things that
and back.
Yeah. And I don't know who's been with her. All I know is Ruthless was with her recently. And I think she's with some new guy named Melbourne Ziggler, who was like a glorified independent wrestler. And like, he's a ripoff of PG's. You remember PG, PG23X?
Yes.
Well, PG, like, was one of the first Zigglers. He was Ziggler when I, way back in the day, like 2009. Okay? Like, you look at all the other wrestlers and that have done Ziggler, none of them have came close to PG. And now you got Melbourne, who's like he's literally like, he says he's like the greatest Ziggler of all time. And Kelly, you know how Kelly is. She sees a guy with blonde hair in Roblox, by the way. Not in real life. I don't think she ever saw photos of Melbourne. She's like, remember what she said? She says, I like me a man with blonde hair. She'd never seen him in real life.
God,
She loved looking at him in pixels. I don't know what her deal was, but that was how it was. But that was that. But
hey, not to break the big kayfabe wall here, but have you seen what's going on in the chat?
Yeah, I just noticed. I just switched over. Apparently, they like what's going on.
Over right now, and it's just like, oh my god.
Well, you look at it. Look at it like this. What is a podcast without shooting and saying what you really want to say because you don't want to say it anywhere else? You can say it in Roblox, but all you're going to do is type it. Do it on here where you can have a freedom of speech to say what you want to say. Fuck it. I'll say what I want to say.
This is the Chris podcast. We shoot whenever
This is the Backstage Pass, and it is back from the grave from way back in the day. And, you know, we've had some good guests in the past. You know, this is how it used to be, where we shot about everything. It would always be a shoot interview. Whatever they said was personal and straight and to the point. And that's what I loved about doing this podcast. And now that it's back, and, you know, I just had I had Xavier on. And I think, yeah, you were in the podcast. You know, you guys buried the hatchet. Xavier, like, I was hoping Xavier would shoot a little more than he did, but it was perfect. It got me back into the routine of just going back into the, you know, the old ways of, you know, doing the podcast. So it's awesome to be back doing this because I missed this.
The last podcast was more of a...
It was a serious podcast.
Yeah, it was like Affliction asking questions and Xavier mainly answering them. But I will have to say, and everyone agrees with me.
Wait! I remember. Wait a minute. Breeze. Wait a minute. Oh my god! I just thought of something.
Breeze.
Oh my god. Okay, Train. Remember her talking about Breeze? And she wasn't she? Wait a minute. She was world champion in Breeze's company. Wait a minute. Oh my god! What the hell was the name of his company? Something.
Do you remember his username?
Oh fuck! What the hell was his name? It was just she always used to call him Breezy or Breezy Boy or whatever the hell she called him. Wait a minute.
Crap! I cannot remember. I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember. And I know the company's still around.
Yeah.
Because.
No, but I don't know if Breeze. I don't know if Breeze has it open anymore. Actually,
it's not open, but it's like you can still find the group and all that.
Maybe I don't know. I remember her talking about. I always thought she was talking about somebody else, but like, remember when the subject was brought up about who was it? Fucking ERW was the fucking name. Okay, ERW was the name. And remember how she would say, like, okay, I just got done wrestling at Breezy's company, and we thought Breezy was a girl. We thought Breezy was a girl.
You're gonna love who it is.
Oh my god! I just came to the realization that Breeze is in this fucking group.
Hey, guess what? I found the company.
You found it? Send me a link. I gotta see this shit.
I think it's this. Electrifying Roblox wrestling, but it's empty as ever.
It was owned by David Legends?
I don't think so.
Did he sell it or some shit?
I mean, when you're in Roblox, no duh, everyone sells everything. I might be incorrect.
Oh my god, you know what, I think about it now. I just thought of it, because like, I thought for the longest time Breeze was a girl. Because she was saying she was gonna go hang out with, she was gonna go with Breezy. And Breeze is a guy in the company. He's literally in XCW right now.
Hey, let's fire him.
No, let's not fire him. Let's bring him on the goddamn podcast.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah, let's get him on the damn podcast. I'm gonna call him. I gotta call him.
We're becoming Jim Cornette.
I gotta add him as a friend, but I gotta call him.
Okay, here's what
the TGTI just said. If it doesn't say bought out by XCW, it's not the one. So it's not the company.
So Xavier bought it out. I just made Breeze I gotta message him. Breeze.
If Greatness is listening, if you're listening, what did EWR stood for? Wait.
I think I got it. I think I found his name. Oh, come on.
Is this? I'm looking at your the contract thing. Is this what you were talking about of being a women's champion?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So okay. I just added. Hopefully, he's my friend on here now. We're gonna find out because I'm trying to call him. All right, I'm gonna add him to the call. Let's see. See if he answers because I want to see if he defends himself.
Let me see if it's still around. Why should actors still be around? It's like someone actually made a group called.
Wait, I think he's here. Breeze, are you here? I gotta ask you a question. All right, now that I got you here on the podcast, okay. So obviously, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the podcast. We have.
I just logged off of it because I got another call, but I paid attention to it a little bit before this.
Okay, so we brought up Kelly. Okay, I gotta ask you this. Back in the day, she said she was going to hang out with Breezy, and I thought Breezy was a girl. Now, you are Breeze, and apparently you guys dated.
Yeah, that's not me, though. I did not know her as Breeze.
You didn't know her as Breeze?
No, because, I had a name change, 2 years ago, maybe?
No, she called you Breeze, though.
She said she was going to go hang out with Breezy. And I remember exactly, because she said she was going to go to ERW.
That's weird. The only Fed I could see that happening in is, RWWE.
I know there's a... Hold on, I think
I remember RWWE, but the only thing I remember is she talking about a guy named Breezy, I thought was a girl named Breezy.
Can we talk about how your live stream now has 69 views?
It's amazing what you can get away. It's amazing what you can say on here.
This is a true podcast, people.
I'm just here for the laughs.
Giving you a run for your money.
I'm confused, Breeze. I want you to set it straight. Honestly, this is the perfect platform for you to set the whole Kelly thing straight.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody right now, we assume that you and her are together. And back in the day, she sent nudes. Did you or did you not receive any of those?
I never got nudes. Because what happened was...
Are you being honest with me?
Yeah, I'm being completely honest. What happened was, I was asked out by her. I was asked out by her a week after I broke up with her because I wanted to be with a girl that I knew in real life.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it never happened to anybody else, but I never got any.
Is this the roast session of Kelly Kelly?
It wasn't supposed to be, but now it is.
Oh, jeez, I can attribute to that. What the hell?
Actually, I just got Breeze. I just wait, JT.
Yes.
JT, 1 second. There's a guy that I'm going to bring on the podcast. He says he has the true story of what happened with Breeze and her.
Okay, can I just tell you, this is...
Everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet. All right, let him talk, and then Breeze, you can say whatever you want to say afterwards, okay?
All right.
All right, Xavier, are you here, man?
Xavier, you're muted.
Yeah, Xavier, you're muted, man. All right, Breeze, everybody be quiet. Either mute your mic or whatever. But Xavier's gonna have the floor. He's gonna tell us the true story of what happened with Breeze and Kelly. Xavier, the floor is yours.
All right, look, I'm gonna be honest. He never got nudes from her, but it's true they dated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And a week later, she was the world heavyweight champion. That's how it went.
World heavyweight champion?
See, apparently, ERW made Kelly the world heavyweight champion of the company a week.
Actually, now that I think about it, she was also the general manager, if I remember correctly.
I remember that. Yeah, she was general manager, and that I do remember that was because we dated. Yeah.
My God. Why? What? Okay, if you don't mind me asking, Breeze, why did you and her even get together?
Because why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not? Didn't you see the sex tape?
No.
She bites wieners. She does. Look at the sex tape.
She scissored with a penis.
She did. You know, Breeze. Either way,
she scissored off a penis.
Breeze, I'm gonna let you have the floor here. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to explain. Okay? You can say whatever you want to say. You can talk about Kelly in any way you want to talk about her, because at this point, it's not like it's gonna go too far. Because I think me and Train have already done that.
You have 30 seconds to explain everything. Go.
Alright, so Phoenixer was the one competent female competitor on the fucking roster because like there was nobody else there, so she was always like the women's champion, and so she was like bragging about being it for like a year or so because once again she was the only competitive, or she was the only like competent person or woman on the roster. And when I broke up with her, she was like, you better not be going out with blank, I don't remember the person, like some other female wrestler. And it was because like her reasoning for it was like, because that person's actually a guy. And it was so fucking weird for me. It was like, no, I just want to be with someone else in real life. And she was just so insistent that it wasn't this one Roblox female wrestler. And like, she was always just, I don't know, she was just never showing up to actual shows, but she was always champion. And there's nothing I can really do about it.
There's a little bit, I'm not going to say that there's a little bit weird about that. Weren't you the owner?
Yeah, I was the owner. But
what do you mean you couldn't do anything about it? You could have stripped her of the title.
No female wrestlers.
For the world title? Or you could have vacated the title.
For the women's title.
Okay, for the women's title. You could have vacated it, though.
Hold on. Can we talk about the trooper himself, DJP, has put the sex tape in the chat?
He did?
Well, yeah.
He did.
What the hell? Where?
Go ahead. If you want the sex tape, DJP has it. Anybody out there who does not know, DJ Caprio has the sex tape. Go get it from him. He will give it to you free of charge. Okay?
I may or may not put it in the video.
I need to see it.
We're not allowed to release that stuff on here. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, fuck. This is PG-13. Wait, this is not PG-13?
This isn't PG. No, on Twitch you're allowed to be as, vulgar as you want to be. But in Roblox you can't go over a PG rating. Not Roblox, YouTube. Because other than that, it'll be a restricted thing for people. And they need, I want people to see this. Because it needs to get out there into the public. There needs to be a Kelly Kelly anonymous group.
Can I at least put like a screenshot of it?
You can attempt it. I can attempt. You can attempt it, because the worst thing that can happen is you can get a strike for it. That's all I know.
You mean XCW is going to get the strike for it?
Breeze, all right, Breeze. I'm going to ask you one last question, and I gotta know. At that time in your life on Roblox, were you into Roblox Tang?
Roblox what?
Roblox Tang.
I don't even know what that is.
Roblox pussy.
No.
Okay. Alright, I'm not gonna say anything, man.
I literally just did it because I could. That's why.
Alright, man. There's a lot of people that might say you were a liar for that. But
okay.
Either way, man, I appreciate, you coming on the podcast and, explaining your side of the story. With that being said, I'm gonna continue this podcast here with Train. Thank you, Breeze, for coming on such short notice.
All right, no problem, man. I'm still gonna watch the podcast though. I like it.
All right, Train. Okay, so we've been on here for we've actually been on over an hour. Does it?
This is amazing.
It is amazing. So, Train, I'm going to probably cut it here because you can't really end on a better note than that. So, Train, man, on your honest opinion, Train, I gotta ask you something.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, in your honest opinion, what Breeze just said, do you believe, in your honest opinion, that Breeze didn't like Roblox women back then? If he dated somebody that was a Roblox woman.
I mean, I'm not gonna criticize him on it because there's a lot of people I know that have done it. I mean, people try to get me to do it, and the only reason why I would be like that is if in a Pro Wrestling State storylines. That's the only time I would ever do it. But do I have a problem with him? No. Do I think that he probably did? Probably. I mean, it's Roblox. I mean, you look at how many people got with Kelly Kelly. I mean, come on.
Listen, that list is like a laundry list of pro wrestling wrestlers that have been with her.
It's like Santa's nice
it's like it's literally like Santa's fuck list. It is. What do you mean? It is. Okay, I'm gonna end it here before I go on another. I'm gonna end it here before I go on rant. So I'm gonna say this. Thank you, Train, for being my guest, and Altair, thank you as well for being on here.
No problem.
I am the moderator of this.
You did a really good job of moderating.
All right, thank you, Jonathan Coachman.
I'm glad. Thank you for letting me moderate this roast session of Kelly Kelly.
You gotta. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into the Backstage Pass. And we're going to see you next time, whenever that may be. All right. Bye-bye.